Good morning and a warm welcome to you all. I am Preetha and I will be your host for this morning's event, Celebration of Sports in association with Tata Steel Chess India 2022. Before we begin the session, let's all pay attention to the safety pause. We are on the 17th floor of this building, and in case of any emergency, I request you to evacuate using the emergency exits marked and use the stairs to reach the ground floor. Once there, please assemble in front of the building and wait for instructions. Request you to assist those around you who might need help, and please do not panic. A few more announcements before we formally begin the session. I request all of you to either switch off your mobile phones or to put them on silent mode, please, and kindly don't receive any calls during the next few minutes or an hour. The audio video for the audiences who have joined us virtually on WebEx or Stream has been muted from the backend to avoid any disturbances. Should you have any question, audiences on WebEx are requested to post it on the chat. And those who have joined us using the Stream link are requested to mail their questions to communications@tatasteel.com ID. The same will be taken up during the question and answer session. Celebration of Sports, our very own platform, which gives us an opportunity to learn from sporting stalwarts. We have witnessed many legends who have addressed and inspired us. But today is special. We reach a milestone today with not just one sporting stalwart, but four on the dais, with their mentor and our nation's very own king of chess, Viswanathan Anand. Not that he needs an introduction, I'll still do it. Five-time world chess champion and our most celebrated chess grandmaster, an inspiration to chess players world over and a true gentleman. With him on stage, we have Vidit, Indian chess grandmaster who attained the title in January 2013. Beside Vidit, we have Nana, Georgian chess master and a member of the gold medal winning Georgian team in the World Chess Olympiad in 2008 and European Women's Individual Champion in 2017. And last but not the least, on the stage we have Harika, Indian grandmaster, who has won 3 bronze medals in the Women's World Chess Championship in 2012, 2015, and 2017. Harika is also honored with the Arjuna Award for the year 2007 and 8 by the Government of India. Unfortunately, Hikaru could not join us because last minute he was not feeling too well. We also have Jeroen Vandenberg, the director of our tournament of the Tata Steel Chess India event. Moderating this session, we have none other than Tania Sachdev. Tania is herself an international master who achieved her first international title when she was just 6 years old. I don't even recall my age at that point. Anyways, so not just inspiring, unbelievably brilliant. She is also known as one of the best chess presenters and commentators in the field. So we brought her here to do the moderating for this session because definitely I do not have the knowledge for that. So welcome Anand, Nana, Harika, Vidit, Tania, and Jerome. And it's my pleasure now to hand the session over to Tania for the first move in this conversation. Tania.
And a big warm welcome to all of you. Good morning. Tata as a company is a symbol of excellence. Tata Steel, its foundation lies in its principles, values, its and it goes back to its legacy, its founders, Jamshedji Tata, Dorabji Tata. And the one thing that stood out with the founders was their love for sports. So it's very special to be here for this occasion that wants to celebrate sports and Tata Steel's commitment towards sports as a tool for empowering the community. Of course, through the generation, this love for sports has passed on in the company with the support for athletes as well as sporting events. And Tata Steel Chess India is an outcome of that, as well as the Tata Steel Chess Tournament that happens in Vaikanze, which has come to be known as the Wimbledon of chess. So for me to be a chess player and to be amongst this esteemed panel that we've got today and all of you, it does truly mean a lot. Now, sports inculcates a lot of skills, a lot of principles in us, values, the way we make life decisions. And there was this quote that I read once, which left a very big impact on me. And of course, as usual, I'm not a morning person, so I do not remember who actually said it. But it was to the effect of that, show me the icons that your youth looks up to, and I will tell you the future of your country. And I truly believe if the icons that the youth look up to are sports persons, then the country really does have a bright future with all the skills that it imparts. And as this is about celebrating sports, and we've got sporting personalities and legends with us here who really embody everything that sports teaches us on and off the board, the way they carry themselves, their sportsmanship, the way they interact with fans, and what they give back to the sport. I am, of course, going to start with Vishy Anand on this panel because I think all of us want to hear it from him. Anand, one of the things about your career spanning decades has been its longevity. And that's not something that we see often in chess, especially, with just how younger the sport is getting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, that Anand is in the top 10. And there is a gap of almost 20 years with the next person. And we haven't seen that happen in chess. And I want to ask you, this longevity, what drives it? What have been the challenges? And how can someone who pursues their passion be able to do it for so long?
Longevity isn't something you set out to do, but it's a byproduct. But you try to be competitive as long as possible, and do everything to equip yourself to be able to compete at the highest level. I was a very young grandmaster. When I was a grandmaster, I turned grandmaster when I was 18. And at that point, I was the youngest grandmaster in the world. I was also world junior champion. I was one of the youngest people to qualify for the candidates. But then, if you look at when I won the world title, I won my first world title at the age of 30. I won the second one at the age of 37. And so the world championship was a dream that I pursued for a long time. And it happened late. Now, some of it was the time I took to figure it out. So my first attempt was when I was 21. Then I finally played a world championship at 25. One more a few years later, and then third attempt it happened. And some of it was the situation in the chess world where we once had two federations and a lot of chaos, but so there wasn't the possibility to play. And during the difficult moments, it was just a question of finding out what it is I really enjoy about the sport. In fact, some of my best years were when I didn't have the world title in front, because it gave me a chance to say, okay, let's forget about that and simply enjoy the tournaments I have, enjoy what I have in front. And that's probably the healthiest attitude to have. If whatever you do it with a lot of pleasure and excitement, then it's much easier to stay the course for a very long time. A second thing which was important is the ability to keep learning something new. Chess was changing fast when I was young, and then over the years it started changing faster and faster and faster with technology. At some point it gets disorienting, so you always need to sit down and figure out how do you relearn a lot of stuff. How do you because new developments are constantly coming out, and how much does it matter to you? And if you're going to do it, then can you sit down, take the time necessary to understand how to deal with all this unfamiliar new thing and to keep learning. And the second thing driving that was that I still wanted to compete. Then a couple of years ago, similar thing happened during the pandemic. Initially, I thought it's a good moment to stop because I didn't want to admit it that way. But I thought certainly just to play a little bit less was not a bad idea for a while. But at the end of the year, I realized approximately till the pandemic started to lift and air travel became a possibility again. Then again, I had this feeling that no, I really want to compete. And then I got this one invitation from Croatia. And I was so desperate to get there. I got there 3 weeks early so that in case this or that went off, I would still be assured of a chance to play. I played a couple of events. And since then, I compete infrequently, but I still miss it. And that's important.
So the joy of playing and the passion for it comes from, well, being able to enjoy what you do for a long period of time. And I think there's a lot to take away from that because very often we can uh, lose that joy in the competitiveness of things, and finding that balance to be able to do that, it's truly inspirational. And then the one thing has been the achievements, which of course anything that I say will fall short of all that you have won and achieved in on the board in chess, but you've also given back so much. And one of the big things in the recent time has been the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. How does it feel after being at the top and continuing to be in World Top 10 to see this young generation of Indian chess players come forward? Their recent performance at the Tata Steel Chess Rapid as well, with Nehal winning it, with Arjun finishing second. What are your thoughts on your mentees?
Obviously, I'm very, very proud of how it's going. Arjun won the Rapid last year. This year he's second. Nihal won it this year. So at least here they're doing very well. But in the meantime, if Nihal was the highest rated player we selected 2 years back. And he was like 2615 then. And everyone else was 2500 something. But it was clear that they were very, very talented. So how the idea came about was I went to Bangalore to give a talk at Westbridge Capital. And after I finished my talk, I was just leaving for the airport when Sandeep Singhal, one of the founders of Westbridge, he came out to say bye. And he said, by the way, is there something we can do together in chess? So I said, why don't I think about it and I'll get back to you. So I go back home and I start to think of what we could do together. And a couple of ideas came forward. The first one was the Botvinnik Chess Academy. So famously, Mikhail Botvinnik started a chess academy in the Soviet Union. His most famous students are Kasparov and Karpov. And so that was one idea. I'm also in something called Olympic Gold Quest, which is a foundation to help to try and get more sports, more Olympic gold medals. So literally Gold Quest. And I see how they've tried to be, how shall I describe it? Something like a one button, something that a lot of Olympic athletes can turn to for help and support and guidance at many, many levels. So this combination of being a sort of guide like Botvinnik, but also being a support emerged. And I picked, at that point, it seemed like a fairly straight decision as well. I picked 4 of our top juniors because they were all 15 or younger, 16 or younger, and they were all grandmasters. So I thought that's a very promising group to work with. Let's start there. And I took Vaishali as well because she was very, very strong. And I think she was already the highest rated behind Humpy and Harika. So, sorry, Humpy and Harika, yeah. And that's kind of how it got started. if you saw the notes I made before I started and what I'm doing today, that's already different. So there's a lot that you learn as you move along. Um, I don't even try to give them lessons as much as I think the biggest difference is that I try to share my experiences with them. Probably that's also what I can do uniquely, because there are many excellent coaches and trainers, especially in India, who can impart specialized skills. But I thought maybe what they'll benefit the most from is this sense of, look, I've been there, I've done that, I've made this mistake. Now, of these 15 mistakes I made, you can skip 3. Maybe a few mistakes are nice to make and you come out stronger, but you don't have to overdo it, sort of thing. And that again came from OGQ, because there a lot of it is because of the limited time you have to achieve a gold medal. It's important that you have the right guidance. Guidance saves a lot of time. So if you ask the right people for the right help, it saves you a lot of time. And the rest is just hard work. I support them in the hard work that they do. And I've organized some of my former coaches as trainers. So Yusupo, who worked with me long back, Sandipan Chanda, who is from Kolkata, of course, and Gajewski from Poland. So all have been my trainers at some point or the other. And recently, Boris Gelfand is also working with us. So make sure that they work regularly on different parts of the game and keep nudging along. That's how I imagined it. And now we're adding new things constantly.
Wow. Okay. So continues to inspire, not just on the board, but off it with all the work that is going on with the young generation. One of the other very inspiring stories in the last few months has been that of Harika. Harika took the decision to play the chess Olympiad when she was 8 months, 9 months pregnant. She actually had a baby 2 weeks right after the final day of the last game. And Harika, tell us about how did you come to this decision? You love a game, but you have this big moment in your life to play the Olympiad and the feeling of winning a medal right before having a baby.
Good morning, everyone. Uh, I don't know, it's a little strange for me to say that, I'm getting all the attention because I played during my pregnancy. This is very strange for me to address. But for me, it was very common decision that I've taken. I felt like that is something I've been doing from past 20, 22 years. And I have always, my first Olympiad was when I was 13. And though I achieved many things individually, for me, I always got upset during the team championships when we couldn't make it on the podium. We were fourth, we were fifth, but that I always had this desperation that I wanted to see us on the podium, us women's team as on the podium in World Championships, Olympiads, and all that. When I heard that Olympiad is going to happen in India, I the first thought that came to my mind is no. I mean, I felt little possessive, but that I have been always there, and when it is going to happen in the best form, I wanted to be there. That is the actual reason that I have to be there. There is no choice. So the first thing I did is I contacted the federation. I said I checked with my doctor, I can play, but it's up to the team and like you whether there will be certain things that might not be in my hands. So if it's okay. So they were quite happy to accept it. And when I went there, it was a little different than normal. I think I didn't have pressure anymore. All I wanted to do is to go and sit there and play on the board without much hurdles were my biggest concerns over back then. So earlier it was more about result. I was like killing myself that I have to win, I have to do something. But this time it was much different. I understood the value of being able to compete in your normal senses and to do that you're doing your best. Then I understood the value of it. And luckily, for all the efforts by the team and everything, we got our first medal this time, which I felt like really lucky that I got in a moment where I could say, after years also, this will be a nice story to tell to my baby. So I think that's how I would end it on, like a story, a beautiful story for myself to remember. But thank you so much for taking it as an inspiration and like, thinking, but for me, I am a sports person. And for me, playing in any condition is very, very normal. Thank you.
Wow. Harika, you make it sound easy, but I can assure you that your story is just super motivating and inspiring. As you mentioned, as a sports person from a young age, you learn to deal and play in different conditions, but this is truly special. And yeah, I was there and I saw, and I myself being a part of your teammate just was amazing to see that. Uh, Harika, here in the Tata Steel Rapid Women Tournament, it's the first time, also another historic moment, that we've had the same prize fund for women as well as the open section. This has never happened in the history of chess. And once again, Tata Steel's vision of empowering the community uh, without any gender biases, I think it's a first move that goes on to say what will come in the chess world in the future. What has that meant for you? And as you mentioned in the opening ceremony, that in the future events, you've just had a baby. As old as your baby will be, that much Tata Steel Indian Women Rapid Tournament will go on to be, being a part of this monumental tournament.
So when I heard about it, I was very happy, but I wasn't sure if I could participate this year. But I wanted to. But I said, like, I'll try. Let's see how it goes after 3 months after the baby, and I'll let you know. But then a part of me as a player, I couldn't resist, that it is happening in India. It's such a big moment for Indian women chess. As like as you know, there is so much of gap in women's chess, and I think it can be done by these kind of tournaments. Our kids will get to play with top players, and they will get kind of confidence and experience to, as Anand sir told, it will make the work much little easier, at least for the kids. The experience they will get instead of like, going out, like getting invitations and all this, they will get it little faster this way. And I think this is very, very important for Indian women chess to have this event. So I thank Tata Steel and Anand sir for this initiative. I really, really see it as a part of growth in women's chess in India. So I'm happy that I'm here, and I think this is something I would love to do, to be part of all the best moments. Being for so many years in chess, I would love to do that. And before coming here, I was little concerned, if at all I could be, because I couldn't touch chess from 3 months. I wasn't sure if I would do well. Maybe I will be making fool out of myself being there, like, on the podium when all the people, I know how much like Calcutta loves chess and so many people will be there. But then the only thing that kept me moving is, this is such a initiative, and we have all the women players have been longing for this from so long. So I just wanted to be part of it in whichever way, good way or bad way. So I'm very glad this kind of initiative started. And as I told earlier, I can always say, and one day maybe after 10, 15 years, I can bring my daughter and still I want to play for sure and show her that this is what happens. And I'm very happy that this has started this year, and I hope it continues like forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harika. And she did finish. She finished third in this very, very strong field. So congratulations on the performance as well. Some amazing games there. Now,
Tanya, can I,
yes, of
I just
course.
add one thing? Last year, we had a spot, and I thought, well, I can ask Harika, but so I called her and said, I'm giving you very little time to play. Would you be interested in playing? And this was the open tournament. And we're talking generally some of the top juniors in the country and some of the top players in the absolute world rankings. And Harika said, yes, I'll play. And I said, we haven't given you much time to prepare and get ready. Are you sure? And these are really strong players, and the tournament can be daunting. And she said, no, no, I'm ready. I don't get chances like this, and I'm not going to miss it for thing. So it was just, she was very confident. It was a difficult tournament, but she hung in there, and I think very creditable result. She drew some very difficult games, um, very close to beating Lebon, if I remember.
Yeah.
So I think, and again this year. So I think this separate women's tournament with the same prize fund is a very, very big step because as she said, I don't get these chances often.
Yeah.
So this is a very nice thing.
Yeah. I I think the last year when I was on podium, I was the only women player, and I felt really emotional that very few times you get these chances, especially from years you have been like going out like for finding ways to get invitations, playing, and when you're getting it so easy in your own country because they believe in you, I thought like even if you do good or bad, you just can't leave those chances, and you have to do your best, and that's what I really felt like thankful last year. And I'm happy that like instead of one, now 10 women are there going to stand on the stage. So I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, as Anand sir said, the guidance will help to cut down few years for youngsters. And I think this is really a great initiative for the overall women's chess. And thanks for that.
Thank you, Harika. And of course, none of this would have been possible without the vision and the support of Tata Steel. So this is going to go a long way in what chess will shape up to be, how tournaments will shape up to be, the players who will play and what they will be fighting for. So definitely a big thank you to Tata Steel and everyone who is supporting the game. Now, over the last few years, especially with the pandemic, when it happened, we all saw and experienced the big chess boom. When the world came to a standstill, chess flourished and boomed. It was, well, in many ways, the only sport that survived. It moved online, and there was this big interest that came in the sport. And many of the things that we see now are also an outcome of that, of this big chess boom that happened, of this big love for the sports that happened. Throughout that, a big part of it was streaming. And one of the big streaming stars who has been able to do this amazing balance as being India #2, which is not easy at all. In a country with so much talent, with so much competition, he's been India #2 for many years. He has captained the Indian team also to an Olympic gold medal in the online Olympiad in 2020. We've got Vidit with us. And Vidit, it's been amazing to see how the last few years have been for you and how you've kept your position at the top. Through the pandemic, I've known you for a few years, and you've always been one of the best players in the country. But through the pandemic, one could see this huge surge of fan love for you. And in many ways, it really changed with the streaming community as well. How has it been now that that has sort of taken a backseat again? You're still India #2. You continue to play the top tournaments for the top teams across the world, winning medals. This love from fans, what has that meant for you? And maybe some challenges that have come along with it.
Thanks, Tania, for that lovely introduction. So when the pandemic hit, it was a surprise for me, like everyone else. And I soon realized that there'll not be many tournaments to play. The world was closing down and everything was uncertain. But I'm the kind of person who finds it very hard to just stay still. Like I can watch movies and stuff for a day, week maybe max, but then there is something that I have to do productive with my time. And so I thought, okay, why not to stream? Because there were a couple of streamers in the chess world, but it was not really a thing. But I thought that's the best use of my time back then. And somehow it just clicked. Everything clicked at that moment. Many people started watching the chess streams. It was combined with, the comedians as well. So it had a fun factor to it. And many people started playing chess because of it. So that was very nice. But I think this year or somewhere close to last year, I realized that the world is slowly opening up. And then my priorities changed again because I realized the world is opening up. There will be many tournaments coming back. So I had to take a decision to put all the online streaming, which I was doing as a backseat, and come back to being a professional player. So right now I'm in that role. For example, I think in last 4 months, I have played 128 games or something like this. So, um, so I've been doing that now. And I think during the pandemic, which you asked, I think it was a big encouragement from the fans. Um, it's always nice to play for an audience. Uh, and there are many things which I liked about it, but I think there was a lot of encouragement. Like, let's say, um, when you do something really good, you receive a lot of encouragement and applause. I think that's also like kind of a motivation to do well. But right now, as you said, I've put it on backseat because I have other goals to achieve, and um, that is something which I can always fall back. But sport has a time limit.
Very nicely
I mean,
said. Yeah.
Anand sir will deny it, but
Very nice. So adapting to well, changes that happen around us. And with it, you mentioned that, it's the other goals now that you have for yourself and what you want to achieve. And now for every sport person, of course, who's at the top playing for the country, it is about getting to that number one spot. But when we have someone like Anand, the standard and the path to that is motivating, inspiring, but equally difficult. How much of a goal is that for you? You've been India number two, and I know that this is a tricky question, but becoming India number one, having the standard, the legacy of Anand, combining the inspiration with the challenge of it, how is that path for you?
well, it's always been an inspiration, to have Anand. Like, I've been watching his games right before this tournament as well. Like on my flight, I had downloaded his games. I was going through it to gain some inspiration. So it's always been that. And for me personally, right now, rather than ranking, rating, tournaments, everything else, it's just I want to see what is my potential. Like if I throw everything that I have in this sport, what is the maximum I can achieve? So it's very personal rather than competition with anybody else. So I just want to see how much I can achieve, and that's the path. So I think it's an internal fight.
Very nice. And we also have with us uh, Georgia's number one player. She's somebody who has been part of her national team for many, many Olympiads, won so many medals for her country. It's Nana Dzagnidze from Georgia. And she's of course playing here at the Tata Steel Chess Rapid Women Tournament, one of the best players in the world. Nana, I want to ask you now, in your country, I've often seen that the women team, you win medals for your country. In fact, the women team has always been more in the news than the open team, simply because of performances that you have had. When you come to a tournament like this one, where the women prize fund for the first time is the same as the open, coming from your background, what does that mean for you?
Hello, everyone. First of all, I feel very privileged to play such a tournament, Tata Steel Chess Tournament. For me, to be part of this tournament is also a big challenge. And here, players, we get best conditions and everything that we show chess the best way we can. And what about the question about the prize fund? It's the same for men and for women. I think it's a great, and it really supports women chess to develop. And I think nowadays women chess deserve to have the same prize as the men because we ourselves, I think, dedicate ourselves, especially in the highest level. Almost whole day we dedicate to chess, practicing, uh, traveling, playing tournaments. We do this absolutely same job. So I think this is a very good example here. And I hope in the future it will continue in other prestigious chess tournaments and worldwide. And um, itself, what Tata Steel do for chess development in India, I think it's impressive and it's really inspiring. I see every day a lot of people and kids are coming to see the games, to support their favorite chess players. So it's really very important, I think, and it's really great.
Thank you so much, Nana. And how is Nana? You were also at the Olympiad, and this is your second visit to a tournament in India. How's the experience been to play here? You mentioned to see fans here who support chess. By the way, I have to tell you that I think Kolkata is just such a beautiful city to play chess in. I think we all can agree that we've just never seen this kind of love and support for sports, not just the athletes, but for the game itself. And that makes it truly special. Nana, how's that experience been for you to see this love from fans at the Olympiad that you witnessed, as well as in Kolkata?
I played millions of tournaments around the world, but I've never felt the same way as here. People, like we are like rock stars. They are coming, asking for autographs, showing their respects to you, to your game, and it's really very pleasant and very encouraging, I think.
Thank you so much, Nana. Definitely agree with that. I think the vibe and the energy that the audience brings is so special to the athletes. This event is truly special. Uh, Anand, Vidit mentioned this thing, which is, I think, something we can all take away from that it's really about giving your best and everything that you have. It's more of an internal journey than a fight for numbers and rankings. Again, coming back to someone who's seen it all, done it all, what are your thoughts on that?
I think he said it exactly. Um, Ratings, rankings, even results. Uh, it shouldn't be something you aim for. It should be just a byproduct of how you play or how you do your job. And in a sense, if you are getting better, if you are learning, that should follow. And even I would say you can risk your rating in many places. Even if you lose points, it doesn't matter because in general, system is set up so that if you then do well, you get it back. So that's absolutely the right attitude.
Very nice. And this event this morning is all about celebrating sports. So I want to ask each one of you, you've had so many wins and so many great performances. Is there any one special win and a special celebration that has meant, well, maybe a little extra for you compared to others? I'll start with Vidit.
Thanks for giving me no time to think, Tanya.
Putting you on the spot here.
Okay, the one tournament which comes to my mind was winning my first World Youth Championship, which was under 14, because in 2006, 2005, I won nationals. For that, I qualified to the World Championships. I was very hopeful. I went to Georgia and I finished 12th. That was disappointing. Then I again tried the next year, 2007. I was leading the tournament until 8 rounds, but then I got nervous. And I remember back then the first prize used to be a laptop. And I was very excited to win that more than the gold medal. So I was very disappointed that it did not go well. And in 2008, finally, I managed to win the gold medal and the laptop. So I think that was a very, like for a kid, that's kind of like that stuck with me as a kid. And also, it's also a story like, you try a couple of times, you fail, and then you do it well. So it's the reward is much sweeter that way.
I see why people love you in the whole streaming community and all the fans that you have. That's amazing to hear with it. Nana, what about you? What has been the one moment of celebrating chess that has been special for you?
I think when you achieve the the big success, every time you feel like you're celebrating chess. In my case, thanks God, me and with my team, we achieved many big successes. We won all women chess Olympiad. We won European Championship. So yeah, when you win some big tournaments and achieve your goal, I think in chess you always celebrate.
Very true. Every victory is special. Is it the same for you, Harika, or is there one moment where you could really feel that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
First, I wanted to tell my World Youth story. It's been a very big roller coaster ride, but already Vidit told, so maybe it won't be so interesting anymore. So let me think. For me, the chess started because I wanted to win trophies. It would be a lie if I say, I was passionate about it. I was like, there's so many players, like Anand sir said, like, it's more about chess for them. For me, I was always been like, I wanted a trophy and I was doing good at it. I don't know how, I didn't really know how, but I was doing good at it. And that's how it all started for me. When I won the nationals, the first time when I went to nationals, just for fun, I saw a rolling trophy. It was all beautiful. And I wanted to win it somehow. I was sitting in the last row. I just went for the experience of it. And then I decided this is what I want to do. I want to win the trophy. So the next year for the under 9 nationals, I went all prepared for 3 months. I actually won the title. But they didn't give me my rolling trophy. They stopped that year and they gave me a very small shield, which I didn't like. So that's why I started my chess. I want to win the World Championship trophy then. So for me, the goals were always simple. I love trophies and I wanted to win them. And at some points, it was like, it really took so much of pressure. I was building up during World Youth Championships and all. I was so young and naive. For me, it was all internal journey going on in my mind, like so many things. I want to win, but so much of pressure. Then in my first World Youth Championship, the last day, it was like I was in a situation where if I'm winning, I would win a gold medal. If I was making a draw or losing, still I was silver medal. That's what I have been told. But as a young self, I couldn't believe them that I thought they would take my medal back, and I just agreed for a draw and came thinking that at least I will save my silver medal. So that's how now my journey has been, like just for trophies and medals all the time. But the moment which I would cherish is the team championships we won. That is something like creating history for women's chess, which is in World Team Championship 2021 and Olympiad. So that was some happy moments, I would say. But individually, it's still going on. I'm still in search of this World Championship title, where my first bronze medal was in 2012. My dad said, knockout, it's so difficult to go back again and again to until semi-finals. You missed your chances. I said, no. I was rigid. I wanted to win again. Again, I went. Again, one more bronze. And in a very dramatic way. Then again, I told myself, after 2 times, but I said, like, no, I have to do it. Somehow, this has been my dream to win the World Championship trophy. Still, I didn't achieve it. I made like 3 bronze medals. But now, after listening to Anand sir's, I thought, okay, 30 I already missed. So at 37, maybe I'll win my first trophy. So the journey continues. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think the journey really truly does continue for everyone. And we can see that no matter how much you achieve, you want to just push yourself more and sort of push your own boundaries, raise your own ceiling. And that's incredible to hear. Now, to the one person on the dais for whom this is probably a difficult question because of the amount of victories he's had, won so much and keeps going. But Anand, what has been that personal moment for you, that personal moment of win, which has been special from the others?
I think the happiest I've felt is when I won some tournament and it was entirely unexpected. So a couple of times in my career when I was having a long crisis, maybe 6 or 8 months, where literally your confidence is draining away, and I could even say that I hit rock bottom. So in 2001 this happened, then it happened in 2013 actually. In 2017, similar thing was happening. And I remember going to these tournaments thinking it'll be nice just to play 1 or 2 good games and not come back with such negative feelings. And then the tournament goes like a dream and you win it. And those are the most special ones. So I sort of gave away 3 answers. So there will be Prague, the candidates, and the World Rapid and Blitz. It's hard to describe, but the nicest victories are the ones that are total surprises even to you.
That's really interesting because it's like in those moments you really need something to, push yourself even more or to get back what you've been missing. So really nice to hear that. And how did you celebrate these wins? Was there any special celebration that happened? Especially, I think the Riyadh World Rapid and Blitz. I remember I was watching it and it was just amazing to see. Also the candidates in 2014, as you mentioned, coming back in that. Any special celebration in these moments?
Most in Prague, we managed a nice day touring the city. So Aruna and myself, we got a day off. The candidates and Rapid and Blitz, I spent the next day in an airport. In Riyadh, I even had to quickly have my dinner, then pack, and we left for the airport at about midnight. Got to the airport at 1, walking around till 3. My flight was at 4 a.m. And then I rejoined my family who were on holiday. So I was supposed to go on holiday, and then I went there. I spent it at airports, but I cannot describe the happiness. You feel like you're floating on air because you're so satisfied with yourself, and everything is miserable. Once somebody asked Ivanchuk what was his favorite city to play chess. And he mentioned some city that nobody knew existed. I said, why? He said, because I played well there. And I think that's very similar to how I feel about these things.
Very true. Very well said. We often create memories not based on where we are, but what happens in these places. And it's been an amazing chat. I'm going to open the floor to our audience for any questions that you might have. And Preeta, I'll ask you to take over.
Thank you so much, Tania. For such a serious sport, these past few minutes were definitely not at all serious. We all laughed, we regaled with their stories, and it felt like experiences for us which we've been through as their lives have taken them through. So thank you so much for this wonderful session. We'll now move on to the question answer bit of our session today. We've already received an overwhelming number of questions online. So being a little fair, I'll give them a chance before we open it up to the physical people here, because they've been posting it throughout from the time the session has started. And these questions are for everybody here, including Tania. I'm giving her a heads up because there's some questions for you as well. And we'll begin with her. So there are many ups and downs in everyone's life, many choices. Have you ever felt like leaving everything? And in such cases, how do you motivate yourself?
Wow, I wasn't prepared to be on the other side of the mic. Yes, 100% agree with you that I think no matter what we do in life or where we are, what profession we pursue, there are definitely moments where we feel, or where at least I feel, that is this what I want to do? Is this what I will be doing? Is my interest and passion the same what it was? And I've had those plenty of times. But I think the one thing that we have to ask ourselves, or at least that I ask myself, which makes me believe that my life does revolve around the game, playing is a passion for me, but so is commentary. These are things that I enjoy. And it's something that nobody can talk me out of. And I feel that's been my big learning. When you question, what is it that you really want to do? And you ask yourself, is there something that you can't be talked out of? I feel like that is what it is for you. And for me, it's been chess. Finding motivation might be a challenge at times. But as Anand was also mentioning that, it's the wins in those moments that keep you going. It's the support around you. What Vidit was also saying, the internal drive to give it your all and to sort of just push your own limits to do things that maybe you didn't imagine yourself doing. That's what keeps me going.
Thank you so much, Tanya. The next one is for Harika. And I thought this kind of a question would be coming. With so many distractions, especially with a newborn, how can you deal with them and concentrate on your game?
I think I will get only questions related to this anymore. uh, like for me, initially it was little tough. Like actually during pregnancy, it was all fun and playing games and I could play. I went back. I thought that's it. Life will be beautiful. After delivery, I have it'll be much easier. I'll go back to tournaments. But then actually it started after the delivery, how taking care of kids is such a tough job. And then I realized chess is much easier. That's how I motivate myself to come back and play chess because I feel I'm enjoying. Like here, I came and from first day, I'm all smiling and enjoying because I got some time for myself. That's how I have been the whole life. Now it would be a lie to say that I'm just happy to sit there at home and do everything. I'm really happy to come back, play chess, and that's how I motivate myself that I'll get my time. I can enjoy playing chess.
And all the other working mothers will also agree with you on the very same thing.
So
Me
yeah, so I was shameless to say mom. I said mom and my grandmom, they'll take care of everything, and I will get them name, fame, everything. I'll do my job, they will do their job.
Thank you so much, Harika. Nana, this one's coming for you. Having played in multiple international tournaments, there have definitely been times when there has not been success for quite a few games, one after the other. How do you deal with such a period and how do you come across as successful after that?
When you uh, honestly love what you do, you always find some I don't know how to say, some points, something to come back and be successful as you used to be. So I love chess. I played chess since when I was 5. I have 2 kids, but I always try to find this balance between chess life and family life, and thanks God I'm managing so far.
Lovely. Great. Thank you. The next one is for Anand, sir. How far did you, and it's a game specific question. So we have someone who's watched your games. This is on the GM Lottier game in 1997. Okay. How far did you calculate when you played move 20, pawn h5 to h6 in your game? And because the person who's given this question says it's the most beautiful game he's ever seen in chess.
Thank you. I have rated it as one of the most beautiful games I have played, but I think that's one level higher as a compliment. I think it's at the end of a very nice game with a lot of nice, quiet moves. In general, when you have these positions where all the tension's on the board and you're just waiting for it to explode, sometimes you have to make one more quiet move to improve your position a bit more and then execute the thing. I can't say why, but the move h6 just popped into my head because after g h6, then the combination I wanted to play, which is move the bishop to g6, then works perfectly. And so I saw h6 and then realized it'll be unpleasant for him because he wouldn't have expected the new level of tension in the position. So I played h6 and for even more than many other games, this game stays in my head as one of my favorites. But best game in the history of chess. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll mention here this question came from Russell Nazir. I specifically am mentioning his name because he's had such a specific question for a specific move. Moving on to Vidit. For intermediate level players who are playing for fun, what are some of the offbeat openings that you can recommend? In short, please.
I think if you're playing for fun, then playing gambits is a good start because you give up some material and you get a lot of fire on the board, as they say. Um, for inspiration, they can watch my game yesterday, which I played. But I think for bigger inspiration, they can watch many of the games which he has played. And I think like this at 6 move, for example, and that brought a lot of games to my mind. But not to play boring chess, to play like more fun openings like Ivan's Gambit. I played King's Gambit, Sicilian. Don't play E4, E5. I mean, that's all I'll say.
I watched the Queen's Gambit. That's all I can say. Okay. So thanks, Vidit. Harika, since you've had some time on your hands, or people think that, what are your favorite chess books and what would you recommend for players to read to improve their game? It's good, people are still reading.
It's such a tough question. I just forgot all the books. I can blame the pregnancy hormones that, after delivery, it's like I lost all. But
Any
chess,
all-time favorite?
for me, I never had one book in mind, to be honest. For me, it's been always like a process, one by one, that phase I would read. Like right now, I think I really like Gelfand books. Sorry, but I forgot the names.
Agar's books, maybe. Agar's books, maybe.
Yeah,
Dvoretsky's books.
Gelfand books. I really like the
Decision making.
yeah, decision making. Just that I just completely forgot the names and all. I mean, I should be ashamed for that, but yeah, that's how it is. But for me, it's been always a phase. I really like reading stories of the people there in their own words and how top players explain. So for now, I would say the Gelfand books I love the most.
The
And
memory
yeah,
bit, we'll put it to motherhood.
yeah, that's what I can blame now. That my memory is gone because of that.
Great.
Harika, you forgot one. Mind Master.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like I am not a very book person, I would say. Like especially, I read very less books, but only like I read like chess oriented chess books just to learn little bit chess
More
from it.
about the
So I will be honest with that, just that I'm not very book person.
Great. Thank you so much. Anand, sir, another question for you. And this is a little different. To make chess more interesting, what is your opinion on adding a new piece called the Nook, which is a combination of a knight and a rook, which can move like a knight and a rook combined?
Okay, so I actually have this a nice story, which is unfortunately I think many people will not follow the line, but hopefully we'll get some laughs in the audience. So many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, Ivanchuk, one of my colleagues, he came to my, I mean, he saw I was in a good mood and he thought I should ruin it. So he came to my table and sat with me and said, Rishi, can we play a game? And I don't remember what he called the piece. Nook sounds even better, by the way, but I don't remember what he called the piece. He said, let's pretend that the queen is not a rook and bishop, but a rook and knight. So I said, okay. And then he said, can we play a game? And I was tired because I had had a good day and I wanted to kind of do something else. But I thought, what's the harm? So I said, okay. He said, okay. I play queen c3. And I went, I said, okay, knight f6. He says, queen takes c7, mate. So, okay, everyone on the stage probably got the joke. But, and I realized the only reason he had come to the table to do this was so that he could ruin my thing with this trap. It was literally the only trap in the position, and I walked into it. And yeah, so excellent idea. I hope this was a very specific answer to this
I
question.
hope so too, for the person who put in the question. Vidit, this one's for you. If 10 of the top grandmasters in the world teamed up against Stockfish, will they be able to hold a draw at least?
No chance.
Very quick answer there. Nana, what are your top 3 favorite squares on the chessboard?
Favorite squares.
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 Squares. It depends on the position. But maybe d5 for the knight. F5 for the bishop. And one more, right?
3.
I don't know. E4 for queen. Okay.
Okay.
Nice combination.
Yeah.
Tania, the ball's again in your court. What was the best advice that was ever given to you which was not chess related?
Be friends with him. Oh, I'm sorry. To be friends with him. And he's the one who kind of got the chessboard and was teaching me the rules of the game, how the pieces move. And I wasn't getting any of it. It was the first time I was less than 6 years old. I was trying to follow it, but it wasn't easy for me. And I just remember from that moment to every time when I did go for a tournament, he would always tell me that, it's really like not about how it goes or the result of it. And just make sure that whatever you do in life, Tanya, I don't know how exactly he phrased it, but this was the point of it. For many years, this advice continued that whatever you do in your life, just give it your 100%. And whatever is the outcome, don't care about it. And I kind of tried not to only follow it for chess, but everything else that I do around it, that whatever I do take on, I try to put maximum effort on it. So that helped.
Thank you, Tanya. Anand, sir, for you, who has been your toughest opponent so far?
There have been many, of course. But sometimes watching what I do to myself, I would say me.
Okay, we take that. Vidit, there's one for you since your last answer was a monosyllable and you got away easily. Being top players of a sport that requires such a lot of brainy stuff in your everyday life, do all of you naturally become overthinkers, deep analyzers, etc. of situations?
No.
We got another very quick,
Another issue.
quick answer.
No, you please answer, but
I think it's true. At least, I mean, I can speak for myself because recently I met one of my friends, and then afterwards I told something about the personality of that friend, and they were so surprised that I was analyzing them
Throughout.
in a way, not throughout, not judging, not judging, but like I pick on patterns and I think about stuff. So I guess it's true that we have a tendency to analyze more. Even now, we might think that, oh, what could I have said better or something like that. I don't know. At
Okay.
least I can speak for myself, and it's
Great.
true.
Great. Thank you so much. We'll now open the floor here for quick questions. We'll just take total of 3. That's it. So Ranjan sir's first. Yes, sir.
We heard so many positive things about sports, but last year or last 6 months have been chess has been embroiled in a controversy, which is about cheating in chess, and because Tata Steel is also known for its ethical practices and ethics, what are your views that really is it cheating prevalent in chess on a massive scale, or is it just one-off kind of thing which has come to limelight?
Who?
I guess you, sir, being the senior most.
Yeah. Vishy.
Yeah, sure. I've always resisted believing that even dealing with the subject, because I find it unpleasant. In a way, I prefer that just to trust my colleagues and that they trust me, and that's the standard you should have. So, in a sense, you're right. It's very important to have ethical companies and environments, because if you stop trusting, then actually you never get out of this cycle. Having said that, unfortunately, due to technology, it is becoming a very realistic prospect. First is actual information. This move is winning, you can play it, is a statement. And if that information comes through to you, then you can win the game. And that's the assistance you can receive not only helps you do better, it just finishes the game right away. The second level of assistance, which is you are winning now, but they don't tell you the move. Even that could decide the game, because once I know that there's something to look for, I will probably find it by elimination, by induction. Third is the method of delivery. You can, somebody could walk into the room, signal in some way. I mean, really, there's so many ways to do it that the idea that you can control it completely is off. What you can hope for is just like with crime, that if you're caught at least one day, that should be a deterrent for all your behavior. And with technology, a bit of an arms race. We can solve the problem for 1 year, and then next year there'll be better devices and you'll have to do it all over again. It's probably going to be in the air for a long time, but I hope at some point, I generally don't believe it's rampant. And at least it's not, even in online environments where it is quite big, I don't think it's big as a percentage. So we're talking of a lot of incidents, and they say there's a lot of cheating, which is true. But if you say that there are millions of games played every day on your phone or your tablet, then as a percentage, it's very low. So I prefer to have this feeling of trust. You cannot prove something 100% like this. It's always going to be there a bit. But of course, we'll have to keep improving the procedures as well. We cannot abandon it.
Thank you. Second question, please. Who is this addressed to?
Yeah, Anand sir. So, hi everyone. It was great listening to you all, and thank you so much. And happy to know that we make you feel like a rock star. Yeah, so that's great again. My question to Anand sir, and I always wanted to ask this question: how do you prepare before any big game or a big tournament, and whether your preparation is different for each opponent, like different for Gary, different for Magnus?
The method is the same, but of course the result, the output is quite different. If I have a sense of a player, generally I'm trying to choose the most unpleasant strategy for that player. And so it's entirely dependent on studying your opponent. I will tend to do a totally different thing for somebody of one style versus somebody of another style. So yes, with Kasparov and Magnus, it is quite different the way I will approach the game. But the method is the same. You get some feel for your opponent, and then you decide what they dislike the most and how to get them there. People generally do badly when they are forced to do something they don't enjoy. And so your goal in chess is to drag them there. Of course, by now it's a two-way thing. You are trying to do it, but they're trying to anticipate. And so it requires some self-awareness as well. You have to know, if I was sitting in his hotel room, how would I be thinking to approach this game? And so, it's this back and forth guessing. But yes, it's always for a specific opponent. You'll do things differently but you're trying to maximize your odds. So ideally, well, two things intersect. Your favorite, the thing you like the most, whereas the thing they hit the most. If they meet, then it's perfect. And the less you get of that, so you just have to settle for what you can.
Great.
Thanks.
I think with that, we'll call it a day here. Before we go on, let me make a few short announcements. One is that this is the 4th edition of the Tata Steel Chess India tournament. It's already on. It's on till the 4th of December at the National Library. And as a run-up to this, internally, we had conducted a quiz competition amongst all our employees. And 560 of our employees participated in that online quiz competition of 15 questions, Make a Move, a chess quiz. And today we'd like to actually just name the top 5 fastest people who got all the 15 questions right. The first one was Rohit Kumar, management trainee from R&D, from Learning and Development. Shushant, researcher at the R&D. Gondili Jagdish Chandra Singh, management trainee technical from L&D. Russell Nazir, management trainee technical from L&D. He's also the one who posed that specific question. And Anmol Kumari, junior engineer MED technical. Before we proceed, big round of applause. I now request Ranjan Kumar Sinha sir, Chief of Group Shipping, to present a token of appreciation to the players and to the panel and to Tania for taking out time and coming here. So, sir, please. And for Jerome, our director. Thank you so much, sir. With that, we come to the end of today's celebration of sports. I'm sure we've all had quite a good time and drawn some valuable insights from today's session. And it was fun being a part of this event. We look forward to seeing you at the next celebration of sports event. Before I sign off, I'd especially like to thank the panel for making time for this, the VC team, the Kolkata administration team, the corporate communication team, and the game plan team for making this a reality for us. And most definitely the 400 odd physical and virtually present audience who've made this session a very interactive and a very interesting one. Thank you. Wish you all a great day ahead. Do join us for some refreshments outside. Thank you.